Game week 36, bandwagon 11 manager. Chaps, how are you doing, sir?
I could be better. Let's just say that. It could be better. But yeah, what can you say?
Yeah,
I'm from a
absolutely.
really embarrassing game week, but yeah.
I didn't want to go too much into that questioning, but you are very low on the table now. You have really fallen off, and I think the best question to ask you really is are there any more hits that you think you should or would be taking going into this next single game week?
Yeah. And look, there's only 3 game weeks left, so I'm going all in, bro. Every weekend now is just it's hitomania. That's all I can tell you. So I'm gonna be taking
What
hits almost every single game week.
apologies? What players do you think are worth taking hits for? Considering we are going into a double game week in game week 37 and the end of the season now.
Look, at the moment, the only smart play to take here is to obviously bring in double game week players for 37. Um, if you're really trying to chase people in your mini league at the moment, I think right now is just focus on that. Not so much as the last game week. For now, just focus on getting plays for double game week 38. That's the target right now.
Very well, very well. Going into this double game week as it stands, KDB is the most transferred in player, and it is starting to pose the question of KDB versus Foden. You don't have either of the assets. What is your take on this matchup? And would you be going for both if you could go for both?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, I don't have either of them. Maybe just because I can't afford, uh, well, KDB. But I am actually looking at getting Foden, not just because it's cheaper, but I don't know. I just feel that with KDB, you never know when he's going to get that injury, and I feel like with the double game week coming up, I feel that he's at greater risk at being rotated rather than Foden. Yes, Foden didn't play the last game week, or yeah, he's got a bit of an injury, but I feel safer choosing Foden over KDB.
Very well. Haaland is getting back into the flavor of the month, and he scored in his previous appearance coming back. Do you feel that he is an obvious captain? And of course, everyone's going to be transferring him in if they don't already have him. Or do you feel that there is opportunity to captain somebody else in this game week?
Look, there's always somebody that you can captain. Um, for me, I still feel that I think with this weekend's fixtures, right? Because Haaland is playing Wolves. Wolves can defend a bit, right? So I'm a little bit worried about Haaland. All right. Just because he scored in the last game, yes, he might be the general overall favorite, but I think there are other options that you can take. For instance, Saka against Bournemouth. They're playing at home. Arsenal's playing at home. So he's the second best captain choice. Um, yeah, other than that, for me, I don't really see another choice. Liverpool's not playing so well. Neither is Chelsea. Um, yeah, so it's just literally either City players or Arsenal players. But at the moment, the two standout players are Haaland and Saka.
In terms of gaining on your mini leagues, I think differentials are definitely an aspect we all need to look at. And what players do you think would be good differentials going into the last few game weeks, considering that the template is very strong? Everybody mostly has very much the same midfield. Yes, what is your opinion on differentials, and which differentials do you think are the best to go for?
Right about this time of the season, me personally, I tend to go for teams playing at home because it's round about that time of the seasons where they play the last couple of games at home. So they tend to be a little bit stronger than usual. And then obviously some teams, because they're not fighting for anything, it's not so much as it's pointless for them. So that's why I rather go for teams playing at home. So yeah, there's a couple of fixtures you could go for or attack. Well, for this game week, you can go Liverpool. Yes, they're playing at home against Tottenham. You might, you know, take a swing at. Yeah, I know Mo Salah didn't have the best of game weeks, but I think he has a point to prove after what happened with Klopp. I mean, look, the same with Sheffield United. If you're really, really brave, they're now relegated, so they've got nothing. They'll go all out. You've got players like Brereton Diaz, who might give you a couple of points here and there, and even Brentford as well. So I think Tony played in the last game. So yeah, yeah, you could take a couple of players here and there. There are options. The same with Chelsea as well. Maybe you can start looking at players like Mediwaki or even Gallagher. Gallagher performed in the last game week against Aston Villa. So, and he's got an upcoming double game week. So, mm, he would be a real good differential.
Staying on this topic, but more in the sense of players who are doubling and those who are singling, a lot of people are, of course, having in mind Gameweek 37 and trying to field very much a team that is doubling for an entire starting 11. Do you think there are any single game week players worth keeping through to game week 37?
Yeah. There's always the City players and the Arsenal players. Yeah, City's got a double, but for me, I feel like Arsenal, even though they don't have a double, I think they single game week players are very strong, in particularly in defense. As we all know, they've got the best defense. So even tripling up on the defense isn't a bad idea, as we all know some managers do. Wink, wink. So yeah, look, Arsenal for me, I think is the strongest single game week players. Um, you might, um, to be honest, any other team outside of that isn't really a good pick. I'm starting to seriously look at Everton. Um, for those that despite their, relegation fight and, the points deductions and so forth off the field matters, they haven't been that bad defensively. They've actually got the second highest clean sheets in the league. So, maybe looking at one of their players for um, defensive players rather as one of your picks, the single game week players, for not just this game week, but for the double game week as well. So other than that, I think it's pretty much those are the teams that you probably would look at for a single game week in the double game week. But yeah, it is never rule out single game week um, players or teams in a double game week because in some instances they have better fixtures than the double game week players.
Very well. This would be the last question from me. And you find yourself very far down in the FPL Banter League table. I just have to ask this. Uh, do you see yourself making your way up, considering you are ninth currently before the Chelsea and Tottenham game? Do you see yourself going at least in the top four? Yeah. Please share your ambitions.
Look, all I'm going to say is the difference between fourth place and me at ninth place is only 14 points. 14 points. So, look, and 24 points between ninth place and third place. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. I can still make it to third. Second is a little bit far off, but yeah, it's this. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. I'll only give up on the last day. On the last game week, then I'll say, yeah, game over. It's done. And up until then, I will fight. I will fight. Yeah.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.